Bark, bark, bark. Bark, bark, bark. Bark, 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 bark.
I look like a man that's struggling. I'm excited and ready to go. Yeah.
Today we are letting Imperialism
Alright.
Let me explain. What I'll be doing is spinning this wheel to pick a character, and then spinning this arrow to see which
What have I not done?
So let's say this wheel lands on Bowser.
So I've done like every planet.
Bowser will travel northeast until they reach Wario and play a one-inning game with maxed out stats and battle it out. The winning team doesn't just take the land, but also the captain of the losing team. I will be repeating this process until one character rules them all. Now pick your team and cross your fingers because 99 overall Sluggers Imperialism starts now. We spin the wheel, and our first matchup is gonna be Mario. The cover athlete will be attacking northeast, which means it's a rematch from the first video. Mario will be invading Funky Kong. What's gonna happen, Mario? The pitch, Funky the swing. Is it already a home run? It should be. It's gone. It's gone. 99 overall Funky Kong. The swing. It's caught for 1 out. Second out. Let's see.
I just realized it's my first stream of the New Year's.
We aren't getting inside that oscillator just yet.
Let's send down the defenses. Red Squadron, Blue Squadron, do your thing. Aye, aye, Captain.
Hey, rest in peace, the Bengals season this year. It's unfortunate. We got far. Jake made it interesting. You know, 8 wins, maybe possibly 9. Definitely not. I don't want to win.
They're attacking us from everywhere.
Joe's gonna come for it all next year.
The last of their cannons.
All right, keep going. That's all their towers taken care of.
What you mean?
Kind of where the rest of the season goes. But Zim, what were
Yes,
your
and
thoughts
we'll
just
destroy
Oh yeah, I remember this part.
their defenses. We can do
I don't
this.
know about you, but I just felt super confident at the beginning.
Yeah, I felt really confident in the first half. Second half, rest sucked. Play calling sucked. Jake was okay. Offensive line was terrible all fourth quarter.
But just if so many small parts of the season just reared its ugly head throughout this game.
Yep.
But the 4th and 1, I'm not mad at them going for the 4th and 1. I know a lot of players.
That
are kinda
lightsaber,
vocal about it. I'm not
it
actually
belongs to me.
But I thought the 4th and 1.
Come and
The
get it.
play calling itself was
It draws a lot of parallels with the season. Jack calls a really good game plan
Fight me.
for the most part.
Let me put
I
you
thought
out of your misery.
Yep.
Getting Jake Brown and like it's like that was Jake Brown with some preseason. Then
I'm
you
still
get
getting
into
used to
five.
this thing. So bear with
They
me.
had a chance to go 24 to 13 if they score a touchdown right there. 7
No one
minutes
will
left.
stand in my way.
And the
Not
Chiefs
Han,
had their
not you.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, like, you know, 24-13, and pretty much put a 19
Second time holding a lightsaber, and I'm fighting Kylo Ren.
win.
Steep learning
Brown
curve.
probably represents all the starters next week. Had you converted that 4th and 1, you're probably going to the playoffs in Liberty. You try to get them 4th and 1. They come out on 3rd and 4, the Chiefs, from their like 13-yard line,
deserve to wield that saber. Give it to me.
So you had good Bengals football
And bad.
players at football, and you had why didn't you check out of that? I was at the play exact football.
Yep.
He wants us to follow him.
There's probably a trap, but we can't let him get away.
And once they converted that fourth down, I watched the game myself. I mean, in that 40-yard pass, I gave him this look, and I just don't like that. See, them kicking that field goal at that point, it gives them a 7-point lead. I don't think that that's enough.
Oh, it definitely was enough. Zach decided to fucking run up the middle, and we've been struggling with that all year. Should have said a QB sneak. Should have done a QB sneak. But we fucking stuck on QB sneaks too. Our offensive line is just fucking terrible. The interior. The fuck?
I can take care of myself. I'm always coming across the back.
Bang. Kylo's still red. I just built it. My shit, boy. I built this summer.
A scavenger and a traitor. You two are pathetic.
God damn it. Oh, now I gotta look at fucking. I hate level challenges. This is the dumbest fucking shit in any video game. Makes the game twice as long. Look at me. Fucking Wi-Fi sucks. Fucking ass. Fucking ads. I gotta build it and then throw it at him. Wake the fuck up. Wake up.
This will be easy.
Okay, I was gonna say no fucking way.
I saw that score at the bottom of my screen. Even my son said, "Oh, the Steelers are winning." Because weren't they down? Weren't they went up? They were, and then they went up multiple scores, and it was like, honestly, it was like Seattle and
Remo or two.
It was like stop doing.
It's the ones who destroyed the base.
The other team just took advantage. So one thing I'll say is, you the power head against the Chiefs and still, fought it out. But I do feel like some of those decisions that they could have made feel like you said, if they go up 13 or 11, whatever it was, 2 scores, I think it's over for Kansas City. Kansas City was, they had players fighting each other on the sideline. Like, I think it just puts them in a whole completely different
We're done.
space mentally with that. And I just think that the Bengals never recovered from that. Like, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think they scored after that. Like, after, I don't think they...
Fourth quarter, we did not score.
We didn't score the entire second half.
Yeah.
The only time that we got past the 50 is that 3rd and like 27 or whatever. That 4-point conversion that we threw to T. Huddy at the end of the game. We didn't even control. So all good teams make their adjustments. We've seen Lou Anarumo make all these adjustments to the Chiefs over the years. And I thought
the Bengals on us. They did what we did to them in the second half on us.
So and that was one of the things too. You know, I don't know. A lot of times I get on the internet and I don't see other teams showing respect to the Bengals at all. But I think that we're leaders in our own right, and I think we kind of move at our own heartbeat. And I don't agree with those calls, and I don't know. I don't really have that much to say about those calls. So if people don't, I saw a couple people talking about the refs. I don't really refs.
Talking about with the refs, like
yeah, with the refs, like. I mean,
the intentional grounding was a little crazy. Like,
That was fucking.
the intentional grounding was very nasty, man.
That was costly. Not costly, though. There was multiple things. But, man.
Last year was nasty. You know, the intentional grounding last year in the AFC Championship game, that was nasty.
Yep.
We're still evacuating the
I
base.
know that when we go to these games, especially playing on the road and going to that place, you're not going to get those calls. And the Cincinnati Bengals, partially, it's a deep-rooted thing. I've watched all of these teams, they all click up to hate on the Bengals. Like, the Ravens are going to play the Steelers all this upcoming week. Do you think, even if the Ravens are to bounce the Steelers out of the playoffs, the Ravens and the Steelers, or at least the Ravens, are still going to come back to the Bengals?
Yep.
Because they hate the Bengals that much.
Yep.
You're not even going to talk.
Get your squad
Like, for
back
5
here so we
minutes,
can
y'all
get
got
out
to
of
watch
this
how all these
place.
people move. They linked up together to
Yep.
strategically take out the Bengals every chance that they get.
Yep.
And people say, oh, you trying to be like a victim. Like, just observe. Just watch them. They all have, like, this thing. So when I go into games like that, I'm not expecting calls, none of that stuff. Because I feel like all that stuff
Fighters,
moves,
protect
like,
the
it
bombers.
kind of all
Not
that.
every game we get a shot at a dreadnought.
Like you just
So let's make this
a lot
count.
of people's favorite buzzword for Bengals is you guys are victims. When you hear us on here, do we ever talk about the refs? We never are up here being like, yeah, the refs. We just always say we shouldn't even put it into a situation to where the game can be decided by the refs.
Right. And the one thing that I wanted to do, and I kind of got a little over, but the one thing I wanted to do is I'm going to be the biggest person. I don't like the way that people talk or communicate with us on Twitter or whatever, but we have the platform.
People dog them. People dog them, especially them.
Chiefs for having a really good defense this year and being able to make those
That's respect.
adjustments to what I thought the Bengals should. I came into that game, like you said at the beginning of the show, I thought we were going to win the game. I thought the Chiefs are above average team. You get Mahomes on there, it makes them a good team. I don't think that they're a Super Bowl contender this year in my mind. And I thought the things that the Bengals could do in that game, they did early in that game. And I was so excited to see that. My fantasy football team was excited to see Joe Mixon get touchdowns and different things like that. With the second half adjustments of the Chiefs, you gotta tip your hat to that and don't do what those teams do to us. And that's the one thing that is one takeaway that I did want to kind of highlight. As much as there was stuff that the Bengals could do, I do want to give credit to the Chiefs to making plays where they weren't, like they had to go make plays. They did the same thing in the AFC Championship game last year. Like they came back, they did that same. When the going got tough, their defensive line went and got after it, and they did exactly what our defensive line doesn't do. Now, our defensive line did do that in the Colts game, where Trey Henderson at the end of the game gets himself in a good spot where you're forcing them to throw, and then we go ahead and we unleash the hounds on them boys. And that's what the Bengals have to do, and we're going to have so much time to talk about what the Bengals are going to do forward. I did want to talk about this game more, but that to me showed me, like, you have to put your team in a position to have your best player, like a Trey Hendrickson, in a pass rushing situation at the end of the game. And if you fail to do that, you're not doing enough because that's the strength of your defensive line.
Let's go.
So then later on, we're like, man, how come such and such to get up? Because that's not the strength of your
Bang.
line for real.
That was done, right?
And I'm looking for all the boys to step up, but the Bengals got to put themselves in that spot so that those dudes can go take the game by the horns. And I just, remember we had that AJ Green interview one time, and I said, man, I wish y'all at the end of the game, I said this towards the end of the interview, I said, man, I wish y'all would just go and take some of the wins and stop playing conservative and doing all these different things. And I do like the fourth down decision, and I like different things that they did. But we got a lot of evaluating to do, Bart. Yeah, man.
Yep.
Definitely a lot of evaluating.
Game changer.
I have to go back and watch the all-22. But whatever they did in the second half defensively, you hit the nail on the head, bro. It was like the Bengals couldn't do anything. It's like Jake Browning didn't know where stuff was coming from. The offensive line wasn't blocking. And you kind of mentioned they did what they did last year, which is the strategy was doubling Lamar and T on the outside. And for me, it was disappointing to see that the Bengals staff didn't have an answer for it. Didn't have an answer for it last year in the playoffs. Where was Tyler Boyd when that happened, bro? I don't know, man. Like I said, I got to go back and watch the 22, but they just didn't have any answers for it. And to see them knowing that ended their season last year and to not have something to combat that this season, just, I don't know. It's like the staff has to do a better job. Now, I get it. I'm not just putting this on the staff, but you got to have an answer for that, man. Because if that's the case, what stops the next team from doing that? The NFL is a copycat league, right? If you don't have an answer for this next season, now obviously when you have Burrow, there's different things that you can do against that. But I just expected them to have more. Like, where was Yoshi at? Where was Trenton Irwin? Where were these other guys at?
Where was T.I.?
Drafted for that situation, right? Like, we didn't really see it. So, that was disappointing for me. I do agree with you in terms of, even though I will give the Chiefs their credit, I do not think that they're a Super Bowl contender. I think I was holding out for a while, still saying, it's still KC, it's still Pat Mahomes, but I feel like we still waiting and watching that team really just have a field goal fest more than scoring touchdowns on the Bengals defense that's been susceptible. They really didn't wow me as a team that was that much better than the Bengals without Joe Burrow. Now, I'm not trying to, trash them. I'm just giving y'all my honest opinion. From what we saw Baltimore do, and what I just saw from the Chiefs, I don't know if they could beat Baltimore and Baltimore with how they played on Sunday. So that's how you know. Scary, which is scary for me, because I'm going to tell you right now, y'all, I hate it, but the Browns and the Ravens are some of the best teams in the NFL. The Browns and the Ravens, they're some of the best teams in the NFL, let alone the AFC. Now, I won't go on Twitter and tell them that because they're just weird. But if I'm having a heart-to-heart, I feel like there's a lot of Cincinnati in the house. So I hate it. It sucks. But the one thing that lose, though, don't get it twisted. More than life itself. Bro, I will grab it. And look, if Pat Mahomes play one of them dudes coming up, I will grab Chief pom-poms before I go and root for the ball. Exactly. I'm going to tell you another team. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm a big Texas fan in this playoff. I thought about this all weekend, bro. Once we went out, I said,
Bang.
What am I going to do now? And I said, bro, I will be more comfortable with the Texans. I will be even more comfortable with the Steelers because at least, I don't know the which sounds insane because I hate the Steelers. But the Browns and the Ravens are two teams I cannot live with on social media at all talking to me. I'm sorry. I will go for the Chiefs. I will grab pom-poms for whatever team y'all want me to do. That's how it's supposed to be. That's how it's supposed to be, though. When we went to the bowl, it was weird when it was Steelers fans cheering for us. I'm like, that's weird. What are you doing?
For real? I don't remember that. Steelers fans cheering.
at the same time, you can keep it a buck, but yeah, we do not want them to win. Obviously, stuff still has to happen too. Anything can happen. Stuff has to play.
Anything.
I don't mind the Browns winning.
We learned that with Joe Burrow. Anything can happen. So we see this as a week-to-week league. A lot of good teams. A lot of good teams. Now I credit Flacco for doing what he's doing and everything like that. And I think I think he'll be fine. And I said this when they got him, and this is on Twitter and everything. I said Joe Flacco gonna win them a lot of games and take them to the playoffs. The minute it came on the timeline, because their defense is that good to me. But one thing that makes the Bengals so special to me is that under no circumstances, say that the defense gives up a play, say that something doesn't go your way, you always got Joe Burrow to kind of bring you back in some of those scenarios. A lot of these teams that look really good in the regular season, if that quarterback doesn't play at that level, they all get exposed in the playoffs. That's what happens to the Titans every year. That's what's happened to the Ravens all these years. So don't just think just because currently right now the Ravens look like the toast of the town. We do not know until we get into these playoffs.
Yep.
You're playing the best defenses in football, and you're playing the best offenses in football, and you're forced to respond.
And the playoff environment is completely different. Like everything is more intense. You can't have, all it takes is for one of those, 3 interception games that could end your whole season. So playoff football is completely different. It's win or go home. Whoever gets that dub at the end of the day moves on. Got a super chat here from Dustin Croft. He says every team with massive quarterback contracts are struggling except the Ravens. Flash forward 15 years from now, we will see this as a flawed NFL strategy. You could also throw the Browns in there, unless you're just saying, like, since Deshaun isn't playing, we're not doing anything. But I don't know if it's flawed per se. I just think that there were a lot of injuries at the quarterback position this year, where you saw guys like Aaron Rodgers go down, Justin Herbert. So I wouldn't say, I think, if anything, it proves how important those guys are, right? Just not having Burrow, as good as the team was, it still wasn't good enough to get us into the playoffs and make that run. And I think the teams that you're looking at right now, I personally think that the team that's going to win, it's not going to be, in my opinion, one of the teams with a backup quarterback. I think it'll be one of those teams with the starter there. We'll see how that shakes out. But I wouldn't say it's a flawed strategy. I think it's a flawed strategy if you pick the wrong quarterback. If you pick the right guy, I think it's just typical business. What about you, Zim? You think this is a flawed NFL strategy, paying quarterback?
No.
Nah, it's a double-edged sword. You need quarterback play to elevate you in the playoffs. There's no way around it. Whether that's a backup in Joe Flacco, or whether that's going to end up being maybe a hurt Trevor Lawrence or whatever. I don't know how this thing will go. But I'll put my money on the CJ Strouds in a playoff atmosphere, do or die scenario, more so than these teams that, like that don't have that. And that, but the name of the game, this is the double-edged sword part of it. It's so tough. We've only seen 4 quarterbacks in the entire AFC conference go all the way through this season without missing like multiple games. Only 4. And that's insane. So the marathon is like really crazy right now with that extra game. You got so many, you got these defensive guys that get faster, bigger, stronger, all these different things that are going on. It's so tough to make it all the way through. And once you make it through, yeah, like Lamar and them are in the driver's seat because now you got, top-notch quarterback play that made it all the way through, so you were able to reap the benefits of the regular season. And then you got that top-notch player to go and, play those big, meaningful games in the playoffs, too. So if you can get through, you got to get one of those guys, though, or the quarterback that you have, like the Joe Flacco of the world, has to sustain that level, or it's all for nothing.
Right. No, I agree. Here is some breaking news that just happened. Might be pertinent to Bengals fans, especially now with them having the 16th pick in the draft. Brock Bowers is official. He has declared.
Yep. I saw that Brock Bowers has declared. I gotta look this up.
Bloom, the master.
Stupid ass ads.
Bloom, The Master Codebreaker.
My crime wasn't that bad. First notions
Oh, that's what that was.
Hey, what are you looking at?
I didn't get the cutscene though.
Let us out, will you? You're not a person! Ugh, these prisoners just keep getting better and better at arts and crafts. We're definitely getting sacked for this.
Okay, it's in here somewhere.
Oh, don't believe it!
Destroy it.
Whatever gets us our...
Dang. Let me double check.
Cleared
We chilling.
for the NFL draft, so he is expected to be a part of that pool. Are we looking at, like, what are we evaluating in this Browns game? Obviously, this kind of puts us into the mode where you're thinking about the draft, you're thinking about the offseason, as far as Tyler Boyd's possible last game could be this one against the Browns. What are some of the things that you're kind of looking towards evaluation-wise and draft-wise? Like, whole games, are you watching those? Like, what do you have your thoughts on in terms of the Bengals offseason?
In that Chiefs game, the Bengals ran 24 times, I think, in the first half or something crazy like that. I was looking at this afterwards. Also, the Bengals had been 18-0 with a 10-point lead.
May I be of assistance?
What we learned
Wow,
from Joe
18 and
Burrow
up.
is that
Fuck. God damn it. I hate fucking YouTube, I swear to fuck.
has been out is that a more balanced attack, as we've been saying, me and you've been saying all along, has been one of the things that's going to fuel this team to move forward and win games. In this game against the Browns, I don't care who they sit because they didn't give a damn who we set when we set people in 2021. I want all the starters, including Jamar Chase. I want all of them to play. And I want every single person out there going out there to play as hard as they possibly can to act like it's a playoff game. That's me personally. I know that people will say, well, if you lose, you might can get the number 12 pick versus the number, like, to me, it's a little bit like, I might, like, we lose, I'm like, cool, like, you know, whatever. But
wow, how did I not see this before?
0-6 in the division for bragging rights. I need to be able to say, what is my game plan? What's my strategy moving forward playing the Browns? Because the Browns, to me, are the worst matchup in the AFC North for us, period. I need to go into this game, whether there's more Yoshi snaps in there, mixed in there too, more, is that more snaps? Like last week, they only let DJ Turner play 7 snaps in the whole entire game. Is that allowing DJ Turner to play? I need to know what is a strategy that I can take and move forward. And that, to me, is like the biggest thing that I need to get out of this Browns game, whether it's win, lose, or draw. If they got backups in, maybe their plan is way more simplified. I don't care. I'm going directly at them, and I'm playing. I'm gonna treat this game as though if Joe Burrow was there. Why am I doing that? That's exactly what they did in 2021. They played every single starter. Nick Chubb, all the dudes.
Browns, yeah, I am good.
Joe Mixon go get his 77 yards and be a 1,000-yard rusher. I'm gonna do everything that like
you better do that with Joe Dean.
If we go up 10, 20 points, I ain't letting my foot off the gas. I'm stomping. I don't care. I'm with all that. And that's where I want to go with this game, bro. Like, I'm not treating this game as just a throwaway. I get it, the ramifications or you're not in the playoffs or whatever, but if I'm the Bengals, I'm treating this thing like I'm trying to stomp them out. I don't care who's out there. If they don't like, if they're down by 10, 20 points or something like that, come bring some starters in here and let them get messed up. Let them get hit too. I'm with all of that. I want all that.
No, I'm with you. I feel kind of the same way. I mean, however this thing ends is the way it's meant to be. You know, I don't feel like
clear.
there's much of a difference
you
between
still
top
hurt.
12 and top 16. Like, I feel like they'll
You
still be able to
still
get some
hurt.
pretty decent players.
Sir.
But I do think, like, going 0-6 in the division is a little nasty. Going home, losing to the Browns for the last game of the season while they getting ready to go into the playoffs is a little nasty. I don't know if I'm a Bengals player.
What are you doing?
If I
An
want
impromptu
that,
health inspection.
Have you doing all the important
sour
stuff
end
then?
to the season, man. Like that's not where it's at. But I
don't give a fuck where our draft pick is. It's already hot. It's already 16th right now. Fuck it, make it 17, make it 18. I don't care.
Sunday, and I was on the West Coast, so it was like 4 o'clock that time, Las Vegas time. That's the first time I ever looked at a mock draft or anything. I wasn't even thinking. I don't know none of the players. I don't know like anybody except Brock Bowers for real and no Dunn. That was the first time I seen him. Was like
Doomsday.
Is this what you always wear?
Doomsday.
We're
Like,
meeting
that
the
was
Supreme
first time
Leader.
I seen him.
I dressed appropriately.
For me, man, I think it's just
That called for
no
being
matter where
shirtless?
they are at in the draft.
It caught me by
I think
surprise.
that the trenches
Enough of this.
are going to
The
be, and
Supreme
I'm not
Leader
the
is
first
waiting for
person to say this, and I'm not going to be the only person to say this, but
Is this a short?
the trenches from an evaluation standpoint is what I'm going to be looking at, man. The way that Joe Mixon just had nowhere to run and it's been like that all season, I can't sign up for that again. I don't know if that's a coaching thing. I don't know if that's a personnel thing.
Yeah.
But, the trenches on both sides of the ball, I feel like it's something that I'm going to be looking into this offseason. But then you also had the skilled players out there. So it's a dope time to kind of get into, even though as we're recording, this is after the first round of the college football playoff. But I would just recommend, looking at some of these players in the national championship and figuring out, which of these players could possibly help the Bengals, right? Because even as much as we hate Michigan, Dax Hill went to Michigan, DJ Turner went to Michigan. They might have somebody else out there that we can look at. But
Finally,
it's
fighting side by
evaluation
side.
mode, man. It was a fun evaluation mode when we first started this when 9 went down because I kind of got out of evaluation mode. But now we're back to this. I hope that they can get that victory over the Browns. But is there anything that you wanted to talk about before we go to our friend Midwest?
I was gonna say, I put I just
We don't all
calling it
have
Doomsday. I
force
just think
powers,
that's the
pal.
coolest thing.
How about you show some respect for a little thing called manual labor?
If he's not a Bengal, then I need to reach out. Doomsday or Doomsday is crazy. All right, but anyway, I wasn't saying that that's the guy that I want, and a lot of people were like, oh, here you go, talking that wide receiver stuff. I wasn't saying that because I'm gonna tell you. I was like, no,
your history with weapons, man. You can't tweet stuff like that.
Hey, Civil War.
We get Doomsday sound like a Zim shirt, man. That sounds like. Hey, look, we get merch.
Looks like content, we get our merch together. But
Why are they running from R2?
No stone will be left unturned this all season for me. I'm walking out of that draft. I'm gonna ring somebody by their neck. If I don't walk out of that draft with a minimum 2 defensive linemen and 2 offensive linemen, I will punch somebody if they don't come out of that draft with that. Now, does it have to be in the first round? This is how we ended up with Civil War, with the Finesse and Chase one. Is it second round? Is it fifth round? I don't know. But I know I'm walking out of that draft. Trenches.
One of the nastiest things I said during that time was when I was like, I'm drafting 3 offensive linemen in a row.
In a row. That's the backstory on how Civil War started. Me and Ace were getting off of the show, and he said, I'm drafting 3 offensive line. Round 1, 2, and 3. I said, yeah, we need to talk about it.
I'll do it.
So, so now moving forward, it's a world that we could draft rounds 1 through 3. And I don't know if you go to the Super Bowl.
You can explain to the Supreme Leader why you destroyed our
Maybe, I don't know.
Was that my...
But that's the great thing about the evaluation.
Joe's got time, he's cooking.
That when we go to the draft,
to have this fixed.
we're gonna get information from this Browns game, whatever.
I see what you're doing.
So
How about
when
you
we go
join
to the
me
draft, though,
and we fix it?
And we just
I'm gonna
fix
be
it
putting
together.
a lot of pressure
Fine.
on Bengals through social
But you
media.
will join me.
Go
I saw it.
and go and
Fucking-
spend money on the trenches
Who the
before
fuck-
I even go to the draft. it could be low-level guys like Maurice Hurst. It could be Shelby Harrisons of the world. But that defensive line room better be stacked with some old dogs, some semi-old dogs, and I need that room together. And maybe Reader on the 1-year deal. I try to reach out to bro, everything. But all these different things have to be,
Let's
you know,
not
like
keep
I think we
Snoke
know
waiting.
that. So and when you do that,
You gonna reach out to Chris Jones?
I'm gonna reach out to Christopher. I've been putting a lot of Chris stuff out there in the atmosphere. We're gonna have to talk to Orlando Brown.
Push him down the
Season is over.
chute.
We're gonna have to get Chris.
Oh,
Me
that
and
shoot.
Chris we gotta make amends for what happened on Twitter first. But I think once he gets up, I think that will be one of our best interviews, and I'm gonna speak that into existence. But there's a lot of work to be done. But I want to put pressure on the front office to go and fulfill some of these needs in the trenches before I even go.
Hold on, let me look up this stupid ass level. Because you gotta look up every fucking level. No snow, no snow. Okay, I got you.
Before I even go to the draft, so that I can even look at a wide receiver, like, you know, say Boyd walk and then T is on a tag and trade. Y'all don't think I'm about to be looking at wide receivers? I'm 100. If I go get a first for T Higgins and I got 2 firsts, I'm 1,000% coming back with a doomsday, and I'm about to run it. I'm about to go crazy. Charlie Jones ain't show me enough to do anything. So I ain't thinking about him at all. Yoshi, they limit his now. Why they do that? They know wide receivers. So maybe we're high on Yoshi and the staff ain't as high. I'm 1,000% looking at wide receivers, but don't get it twisted. I understand the trenches is like that's where we're struggling right now, and that is the focus.
For sure. Well, with that being said, let's talk to our friends at Midwest Best Barbecue.
Let me find a Bengals video. No snow, no snow.
There's one game left for the Cincinnati Bengals in 2023, but many of you have turned your attention to off-season questions.
Oh my god.
Looking into the first mailbag of 2024.
You are Locked On Bengals, your daily Cincinnati Bengals podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Damn, I did knock bro.
The Bengals fans, and welcome to another episode of the Locked On Bengals podcast. I'm your host, Nick. Let's go along with your host, James Rafid. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, and if you're new, you can subscribe on YouTube. Follow anywhere you get your podcast. If you don't want to watch it,
What the fuck?
listen on one of those audio-only apps, but if you want to see our faces to be delivered to you, the best of Bengals news and analysis out there, find us on YouTube as well. Join the group of everydayers, a group that makes us their first listen. We appreciate every single one of you who support us. Today's episode brought to you by Game Time. You'll save $20 on your first purchase of tickets in the Game Time app with promo code Locked On. And James, you've got a mailbag for the people today.
Address all of the massive holes on the team, and he names interior defensive line, wide receiver, offensive line, cornerback, tight end, edge, running back, with the resources available.
Fucking everything.
And he mentions the Burrow deal and all of those things. But just to limit the question and keep it confined to that, how do you think the Bengals will address their biggest weaknesses?
It's a great example
Free
of a question
agency.
that multiple people asked in different ways.
Must draft well.
Just shouting out one other one that I just
Oh,
saw as I was
shit.
looking through the many responses.
Is this something I can go into?
To mailbag tweets in a long time. Bengals watch party. Yeah, Bengals party was like prioritize Apollo needs right tackle.
Or is this one of those fake ones that just blows up?
So clearly, a thought that is on the minds of many is that this is going to be a tumultuous offseason.
I can look it up.
With the number of Cincinnati Bengals free agents and the number of spots that they need to recruit.
It's a fake.
Something we alluded to a little bit in his show, in yesterday's show. DJ Reader, Tyler Boyd, Chidobe Uzie, Jonah Williams.
Cheeto's gone.
Backup defensive tackle Josh Duco, free agent.
9, what the fuck? 9 unique ways.
So, quite a lot for the Bengals to deal with, and they will have to address this via free agency, either retaining some players or signing
trades. They won't trade though.
As well. And for this list,
Cheeto's gone.
I don't see how they get through this offseason without spending money.
They have to.
Interior defensive line, I think it's a spot they know they need to be better. And
Sam Hubbard was fucking horrible this year. They're showing we can wait a bit. Huh? Oh shoot. I'm B, dude. Let me text that.
Come on! Let's grab a TIE fighter and get out of here!
What am I streaming for? I need 20 more minutes.
Yeah, maybe you want to go
Does the hour thing.
They need to stabilize.
Who am I? What? Who is this?
And the need is more than just one guy.
Qui Ra?
And that's why I think that position in particular is one where they'll need to spend money. Wide receiver also wouldn't surprise me.
Me and Brown gonna play.
T. Higgins or add a veteran. Just don't want to probably go from the group they have now to Jamar Chase and some dudes. I think makes sense to just find some money as well. And then for the rest of these, it's pretty interesting. You can see it going either way, I think. Where they've just spent a first-round pick on an edge player, they've expended Trey Hendrickson, Sam Hubbard's still under contract. Hard to imagine them spending much more money at edge, but they value the position in the draft if it's available. Running back, hard to imagine again them spending more money there, in my opinion. And if anything, we might see them spend less money, but adding another running back in the draft if it's available, you could certainly see that. Same for tight end. Corner, I think, you're probably pretty set with the starters. You can see a veteran, but I don't think it's a big exposure. And offensive line is probably the big question, right? Do they try to go first round right tackle, or do they try to replace Jonah Williams with himself or a veteran?
Yeah, I think that's an interesting dilemma. Can you pay him? Do you want to pay him more so? They can. Do you franchise tag him to have him on the team, or do you franchise tag him to move him, or do you want to talk? I think
they can sign T if they want to a long-term deal. They have enough money to do so.
There's a lot of dilemmas.
It's just
interior defensive line.
A couple things. T's been really injured this year. I know he has no time to heal, but like, oh shit, I know.
Investing in DJ Reader on a shorter-term contract. I still don't know if that's going to happen. Where he is still available and is able to take a more of a team-friendly deal, because I think we all assumed he was going to sign elsewhere before his injury. If they go out and they get other pieces, but right now it's BJ Hill and a bunch of guys, a bunch of dudes. And
it's not even a bunch. It's like BJ Hill and Zach Carter, and that's it.
Yeah, they don't got nobody on DT.
But like Cam Sample rotates in, guys like that.
We need depth.
Technically, Jay Tufele too.
Jay Tufele, just the guy. And it's where they need to improve. And who knows? You're seeing mock drafts from a lot of people focusing on defensive linemen, offensive linemen. And that's why trying to keep Jonah is an interesting debate, because I could understand wanting to get cheaper in the offensive line room, because you're literally spending on everyone that they put on Olsen. I also look at it and see Ted Karras has 1 year left. Scappa has 2 years left. Maybe you could spend on Jonah and it's not as dire because he is 25 years old. 26, like he's entering the line, it feels like, and playing as well as we've seen. So there are a lot of weaknesses or potential weaknesses. I don't think any are as big as the defensive line. In the interior of the defensive line, I think edge, it's interesting. Is Joseph Osai just going to be in the doghouse forever? That's a big
Yeah, where the fuck? Where'd he go?
I wonder with Sam Hubbard nicked up and admitting that, why play Sam Hubbard this week? Why not get Miles Murphy and Joseph Osai?
Yeah, I agree.
That's a side conversation. But I think cornerback is a little weird, and a lot of people are talking about corner, and I could totally see the Bengals looking at corner if it's the best player available. Always. Like they just love cornerbacks. I also think there are multiple spots, multiple positions that they would ideally take ahead of corner in their minds. But they're not going to reach it. We have plenty of time to discuss that. But how do they address them? Just short answer, or a long answer to a short question. Interior defensive line, I think it's a hybrid. Free agency in the draft. Wide receiver, totally dependent on T. I don't think you can lose T and Tyler and not bring in a veteran. Because
whoa, what the fuck? I disagree.
And you can't sell me, and I like Trent Irwin. On Trent Irwin potentially being wide receiver 2 at times next year. Offensive line, really gender dependent. That's it. Obviously, they'll be open to
the only way we're getting a different wide receiver.
Who knows? But those are the 3 big ones.
What the fuck happened?
Running back is interesting. I don't think Joe Mixon will be back at that money. I just don't.
Next year he will. He's gonna stay next year, but he's gonna. Like, come on, guys. I disagree. You're dead wrong on that.
Under contract for 2024 and playing interior. It is Bushel? Wow. The one other comment, I'm just going to float out there and probably upset a bunch of people on this topic, is you mentioned the money for Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon capped it next year, $8.5 million. They've simply not gotten the possession out of the running game.
That's not Joe's fault. That's fucking Zach Taylor's fault. Yeah, they went different ways, though.
To do with the offensive line, too, and finding athletic improvements or finding scheme improvements in the run game, whatever it is. The other one that I'm looking at for is the juice worth the squeeze from a money perspective that I don't think the Bengals are considering at all. Is I would at least be sitting down and having a hard conversation and evaluation of Sam Hubbard's contract. With the amount of money you're spending on the defensive line, and he's been playing through injury this year, so maybe that's it, but
Sam?
He's playing against a bunch of embattled right tackles this year, and the production just has not been what it has been in recent years for Hubbard. He's not getting paid a ton, but like I said, if it's me, and I don't think the Bengals will do this, I'd be having that hard evaluation and really thinking about that one. Coming up next, we stay on the topic of off-season decision-making, as the Bengals face a difficult one. We'll get back into it.
Today's show is brought to you by Game Time.
Wait a second.
Offseason, some of it could be to do with the offensive line too, and finding athletic.
Are they talking about the Game Time I'm thinking of? No, they're not talking about the baller. No.
From a money perspective, that I don't think the Bengals are considering at all, is I would at least be sitting down and having a hard conversation and evaluation of Sam Hubbard's contract. With the amount of money you're spending on the defensive line, and he's been playing through injury this year, so maybe that's it, but he's been playing against a bunch of embattled right tackles this year, and the production just has not been what it has been in recent years.
Yeah.
He's not getting paid a ton, but like I said, if it's me, and I don't think the Bengals will do this, I'd be having that hard evaluation and really thinking about that one. Coming up next, we stay on the topic of off-season decision-making, as the Bengals face a difficult one. We'll get back into it.
Today's show is brought to you by Game Time. You should have a worry about when you're buying tickets to the next
Okay, no. Game, okay.
Whether it's concerts, whether it's sports, music, comedy, theater, well, they have you covered.
Different Game Time.
All you have to do is create an account and redeem code LOCKEDON, LOCKED.
What the fuck am I supposed to do?
Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets. Lowest price.
James, time to put on your GM cap and perhaps an opportunity to discuss my aforementioned idea about Sam Hubbard, who again, I think this is not something that the Bengals are considering, but Andrew Russell at Andrew_Russell7 asks, you're the GM of the Bengals. What are the first 3 to 5 realistic moves that you make this offseason?
First one would be trying to re-sign T. Higgins.
Yep.
That would be the first one. That would be number 1 on my priority list.
I got them
And I would
bitches.
offer him a similar deal to what A.J. Brown received from the Eagles. So 4 years, $100 million. And I think he would take it.
25.
I do.
That's a lot. He's not playing.
I don't think the Bengals are going to do that, so let's not get too excited. I don't think they're going to do that because they have another guy, Jamar Chase, who can be extended this offseason. And that would be, those would be my first 2 moves. I would find a way to get T-Down. And
The fuck?
I would figure out what Jamar's looking for. And if I could get that done before Justin Jefferson, if he wants
Yep.
let's just not happen. But
Fuck no, T's not getting 30 million.
I would offer an A.J. Brown deal, 4 years, $100 million, give the guarantees, I would still do it. And then
That's not worth it though. 25 million for T? I mean, it is and it's not, but like,
you have your core.
T's not AJ Brown. I think T should get paid 20 million, 20 to 21 million. That's what T should get paid. Maybe 23, 23 max. That's the max. What the fuck am I supposed to do?
It leaves the door open, but it's not necessarily when there's a guy. And that doesn't mean that T. Higgins is going to be here for the rest of his career. It doesn't mean that you have to keep those guys forever. But I think it's more valuable to sign them, keep them now, and then if it doesn't work, you want to reconstruct things down the line, you make that call then. But that's what I would do. And then 3,
Alright, fuck it.
it's either Jonah Williams, keeping him, or defensive line. And I would weigh the defensive line market probably at the combine and figure out how realistic it is. Because that's what happens. Like Orlando Brown Jr., for example, he found out he wasn't getting tagged last year. He thought he was just going to get tagged by the Chiefs. Found out at the combine, little birdies, chirp, chirp, chirp. And you hear, oh, the Chiefs aren't going to tag him. He's going to become a free agent.
Let's grab a shuttle and get
No,
out of here.
didn't do it right.
Defensive line world, that defensive line market.
No time.
It's either interior defensive line
Or fucker
or
quit.
Jonah Williams. And I think you can address one in the draft significantly. But if you don't play Jonah, then you better be banking on getting a right tackle early.
Yeah.
And same thing with defensive tackle. You may be able to get a mid-tier or lower tier.
We need depth at the defensive line.
But you're
DT in the interior defensive line.
add one of these higher-end plug-and-play type starters at defensive tackle. So that would be kind of my priority list. Shocker, it starts with weapons. But I think getting T done, it makes sense to me. And we'll see if they can.
I think that you need to set yourself up for the draft, obviously, and you make a great point about
Oh my
assessing
fucking
out
god, I don't want to do this.
That's
Fuck
when
this
you'll
level.
get a pretty good idea of some of these higher end
Fucking sucks ass.
and the decisions for them. But you'll look at PFF Brad Spielberger's work over at PFF does a great job projecting contracts every year, and those will be refined because he also hears things through the combine and he has his own birdies that adjust his expectations. But he's been so incredible at projecting contracts for free agents around the NFL.
Fuck this, I am not doing that level. Fuck that level.
Quite often, sometimes nailing exact numbers and durations, and maybe it's a little bit off on guarantees, but T. Higgins is definitely...
Alright, I'm not doing it. These levels suck.
It's more complicated than it ought to be, because they've also got Jamar Chase coming up for a deal, and they just paid Joe Burrow, and so we're still thinking about the same question as we were thinking about last year, which is, do they pay T, Jamar, and Joe? And last year, indications were in the offseason before 2023's season started and got underway that T. Higgins and the Bengals weren't close. And so how does this year impact all of that? How does this year impact the Bengals' approach? How does it impact T's market? How does it impact potential trade returns if the Bengals were interested in exploring trade returns for T. Higgins after Duke Tobin last year at the Combine famously said, get your own. But I do think that I agree with you, that's where it starts.
I'm taking you to Java.
Then you have to figure out what you're doing with the rest of your money.
We gonna blow up cover
I think
or find a more subtle route?
Over the course of the season...
Why is he already attacking me? Bruh, fuck that. That level's so fucking bad. These levels are terrible. Not as bad as Marvel Lego Superheroes 2, but Jesus, these are fucking trash.
Got paid, and all these guys that were kind of average tackles got paid. I wouldn't be interested, but I don't think you can go into the draft with nothing at tackle. And if they don't have Jonah Williams, they effectively have nothing. So you look at the free agent market, there are some other tackles out there, but I would make sure that you have somebody that you're comfortable with. We're going to be talking about Jermaine Illuminor again this year, who has had a solid year for the Raiders. We're going to be talking about guys like Mike Nwenu from the New England Patriots with a ton of versatility, maybe not the athleticism you're looking for. And maybe he honestly would get paid too much to go into the draft being open to drafting a tackle as well. But the nice thing about Nwenu in particular is he gives you guard flexibility if you still want to draft a tackle. So, you know, we're going to be talking about Mike Nwenu on this podcast, spoiler alert. But if you're looking for another place where I would be interested in spending money, it might be one of Justin Madubuike or Christian Wilkins. I don't know if that's realistic. But
Madubuike is a freak. Yeah. Do it, Jake. Do it, GM Jake. Pull the trigger.
That's something coming off the books. These guys will probably cost more, and Christian Wilkins is projected to be franchise tagged by the Miami Dolphins, and that shouldn't surprise anybody. But Madubuike would be a pretty valid improvement if you don't have DJ Reader. Not over DJ Reader, but over what you have. And would give you a solid starter on a second contract, much like DJ Reader is on a second contract, one of the youngest free agents of the position as well. So you have to figure out where you're spending the money. Whether it's T. Higgins, whether it's another big free agent, whether they go for a bunch of mid-level free agents like the Mike Nwenu's and the, I don't know, what's Chase Young going to get paid?
Man, if we had fucking Chase Young, I would take Chase Young over Sam in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I'm out on Chase. I'm good.
You're good. Fuck you mean you're good?
What's he gonna get paid now?
He's projected at 3 years, 11 years.
Oh yeah, these fucking guys. I remember these guys.
Hunter Henry will get half that. And he's older. They're not gonna go long term with tight end anyway. Like, I think they'll do a tight end. And I guess this is what we do. And I don't know exactly what I do with tight end yet, but I would do it enough where you feel confident with that. But not so much that the Brock Bowers is staring at you at 15 and clearly the best player in the league, that you're not willing to take it. And I'm just giving you a scenario. Right? Like last year, they were clearly in on Dalton Kincaid if they could have taken it. And so, add to the positions where it's not break glass, let's draft Billy Price because we didn't get Frank Ragnow in round one. Emergency. But yeah.
No effect, Grover Stewart. Like, I'm just trying to name mid-range free agents where they can go get a few of those guys, and they probably need to take that approach after they sign one higher-end free agent, which most likely to be T. Higgins, even if it is the franchise tag, just because it's a lot of money. But we have more to talk about in this mailbag. It's too early.
I have a question about T.
Real into this.
I have a question about T. Let's do that.
Is a round of suitable applause for this next droid is a real
Today's show is brought to you by FanDuel.
Red one.
FanDuel is America's #1 sports book, and the NFL regular season is wrapping up.
Can you fuck you guys? You guys got fucking like 3 fucking sponsors of video.
It's the second hardest position to draft, right? It's the second most valuable. Okay. Second most valuable. Can I push back just a second? I want to hear your take on this. That's fine. 25 other teams. How many teams are worried about their quarterback? That's the who's got the #1 priority?
What about him?
Teams in the NFL, and they put first problem number 1. Right? How many of them are actually staying in their offensive line? Number 1. Well, that's the thing, is because the hardest position to draft and the most valuable position to draft is quarterback. That's #1 on everyone's list. That's why people reach on quarterbacks all the time. It's because once you get that, once you get an elite guy, once you get a really good guy, then you can start worrying about other problems. The second problem is offensive line, and it's the hardest. Like, it's the second hardest behind the quarterback. So that's why these things come in line. It's the second most important position on the field. Listen,
this is so fucking weird.
we're not breaking new ground here when we talk about how the Bengals need to
Should
draft
win
well.
and get the gonk on the podium. Need to give him a boost up there.
Everyone knows that in the
Podium. What
NFL,
fucking
right?
podium?
It goes, get a quarterback, draft well, have a good coach. Those three things, you do those three things, you're going to be successful
There you go.
until the end of time. You're going to be good for forever as long as you keep doing those three things. A better philosophical question is, do the Bengals need to change their identity as a franchise? You look at the AFC North, and what do the other three teams have that the Bengals don't? Or what's their identity compared to the Bengals? You look at the Ravens, they're a hard-nosed, smash-mouth, run-first team. And yeah, they've got an elite guy at quarterback. There's no doubt about it. Lamar Jackson's going to win the MVP, bar none. Then you look at the Cleveland Browns, hard-nosed, defense first, great offensive line, move the chains, run the ball. You look at the Steelers, good defense, move the ball, to run the ball on the ground. All these things, they're hard-nosed teams, and that's what the Bengals are not. And the Bengals haven't been that way for years, ever since Marvin Lewis went away. And to Zach Taylor's defense, is they won 2 AFC North titles in the past 2 years. Obviously, they're going to win it this year. Obviously, the Ravens won it this year. So, do the Bengals start molding themselves, start trying to be more like
It's supposed to be a dog fight every year between us and Baltimore.
in the parameters that these three teams are, or
I don't know how the fuck Pittsburgh won it in 2020.
the next team in the division. While all these teams are zigging, we're going to zag, and it's been pretty successful. That's the deeper philosophical question, and I'm not disagreeing that the Bengals need to hit on some offensive linemen. But I'm not, I do not want...
Alright, in stream.